What's up, guys? It's Brendan from Market Makers. It's Thursday night, almost 11 o'clock Eastern Time, which means it's almost New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve to everybody. Guys, I want to answer some of your questions you asked. A lot of good questions in the last video in the comment section. So let me answer some of these summation series questions and the fib time questions, okay? Because I know there's a lot of interest in these tools. So let's go ahead and look at this, guys. And by the way, please go ahead and smash the like button if you like this type of TA. Hit the subscribe button and hit that little alert bell that lets you know when I have a video out there. Really appreciate your support. And of course, if you want to join us and see this type of TA, get our trade signals, get all the goodies, guys, all that information for our Discord is in the video description link. And we do have that special sale going on while we're co-hosting that BitGet tournament for our room. And you guys are welcome to join. You can join the free chat side or the pay side and be involved in that tournament as well for 2,000 USDT. All right, jumping into this. So one of the good questions I had was, why did I choose the point that I chose to begin the Fibonacci summation series? Why did I go from the market low to the high? Well, you want to look at significant swing lows and swing highs when you're starting the series. This would be too complex to go all the way from the beginning, and it'd be very unlikely you're going to have price move the whole price flow through the whole price cycle in a Fibonacci summation series. So in the weekly time frame, rule of thumb is you want to have at least one complete Fibonacci series before you start hunting for a pivot candle in a second series, okay? On the daily time frame, you want two complete Fibonacci series. In other words, we have this 21 bar series from the market low to the market high, and then we have the pivot and the 3 bar dump. That's two complete series, okay? That's why I am hunting here for the third series, the third pivot point where it could be. That's the reason why. And on the weekly time frame, there's just less noise because, as you know, the time frame difference, it takes 7 daily candles to equal 1 weekly candle. So again, what we have here, guys, is we have our 4 bar consolidation. If we are adhering to the Fibonacci summation series, the 5th bar will complete that series. The 6th bar impacts the fib. The reason this is significant, some questions about why is that significant, because the 6th bar would be the beginning of a new Fibonacci sequence if we have confluence here with the fib. That just gives you extra confluence that's a potential pivot point, because fibs are nothing more than potential pivot points. That's why I laid this fib out differently than I did on the daily time frame, because on the weekly time frame, again with the time frame difference, this bar, the 6th bar, will be impacting this fib. And something interesting to note here, guys, if you look at this, our previous hit, right? So we had our all-time high, we had a sell candle. When we impacted this fib, we got a candle like a doji that closed lower than the previous candle. Hence, the move happened the candle after the impact. You see this? The move happened the candle after the impact. So you could have a similar situation here. You could have your 5th candle complete the sequence, your 6th candle hits the fib, and the 6th candle gives us a hint, a bullish doji, a bearish doji, whatever, an engulfing candle. There's different options, and it could be that next candle, the 7th candle, that performs some type of function, whether it's the pump or the actual dump, okay? Just like it did over here. You have the fib hit, and the next candle gave you the action. So we could see that again, and what's interesting when I'm telling you that, if it is that next candle after the fib impact, how does that line up with the daily? Let's go look. With the daily over here, let me go ahead and pull this over. We impact the 1 fib January 18th. Okay, that's the candle right after we impact this fib. So you have your 5th candle complete the series, your 6th candle starts a new series. The action candle potentially on a weekly time frame that pumps you up or down is the same candle on the daily time frame when you impact the 1 fib right here. Again, you're looking for confluence with fibs just like you do with indicators. When you're looking at support and resistance, you might check Ichi, you might draw some support lines. You're always looking for confluence, right? You're doing the same thing with Fibonacci. So this is very, very interesting, and I'm very excited to see what happens on January 18th here on the daily time frame, which is the same candle that opens up January 17th on the weekly time frame because of the time frame difference. So really interesting to see. Guys, look at this right now, how close this death cross is getting, the EMA death cross. So you know how important this is. I've talked about it the last couple of videos. As you can see, it's getting really close. Somebody asked me, could we still pump out of this? Well, when we pumped out of it here, because as you know, we predicted this pump, right? I said when we impact the 618 fib, you could be pumping up. We averted the death cross, and because the 21 curled up after price, but then we got the dump candle. And if you look at the price action down here, guys, it's so weak. I just don't see any type of pump that could really avert this. This looks like it's going to happen. It is a daily time frame. So if you have a couple more candles down here, I think it's almost assuredly going to happen. And then we need to see how price reacts, okay? Lots of big things are coming in the next couple of weeks. The Fed's meeting again about taper, about a lot of things, the interest rate hikes. They're going to have a press conference. We got to see how the markets react. And if I look at the SPX by itself, I told you yesterday it looked like it was building a top. And look what it did. It's starting to dump in the after hours markets, okay? This is the futures markets, and it's pre-market. It could change at the open, but I did short this in the room. This is one of the trades I posted in the room. I knew we were making a top. We lost support. We dumped. So we'll see if that reverses, but as of right now, the SPX is dumping. I don't envision Bitcoin going crazy, even though Bitcoin is consolidating if the other markets dump. Now, if they recover and get healthy again, we could see some movement in Bitcoin. So it'll be really interesting to watch. Let me go ahead and get rid of this fib, and let's look at some patterns here, okay? So one thing I want to note for you guys, we do have this double top. We talked about it yesterday, right? You have the M pattern. You can see it here on the daily time frame, okay? Now, whenever you have M patterns and you're a Fibonacci pattern trader, we're always trading counter trend patterns, okay? So I'm looking for a bullish pattern after the double top breaks where it will recover. So we're looking for the retracement, the recovery from the double top potentially. Turn my magnet on. I'm going to go from my dump low there to the first high in the range, to the first low, and then to our high here, okay? And from there, let me turn the magnet back off. I got to look at my fib measurements here. This is a Navarro pattern. This has an entrance point at 886. The first entrance point, which is right here, roughly. So what this is telling me as a Fibonacci pattern trader, guys, is price goes from X to A to B to C down to D. Okay, this would be, I guess, your descension possibly from a double top. And at this point, price can find recovery there at the 886 fib and start moving back up, retracing back up. Now, it doesn't have to, and we do have an extension for this pattern as well. This goes out to the 113. Let me see how low that would take you. 113, 112.9. Low enough. This would take you down to 4184. So basically, and again, when you're looking at Fibonacci patterns, I'm looking at existing support and resistance as well. We dumped the 42,319, so that may be an activation point for this pattern, is that support level, okay? Or you could go slightly past it, but I'm always looking with my fibs and with market structure for support to see where price could rebound. And if we do come back up from the 886, that would be right about 43,419. So this is a potential pickup point for price to go and rebound and go back up. How strong will it rebound? There's no guarantees on that. What targets will you hit? There's no guarantees on that. Again, it depends on the veracity of the investors, how much money they want to put into this asset to really move Bitcoin. And this, guys, is, like I keep saying, it's just very concerning. We can have a delay with it, or we could start dumping and just go really bearish. We have to see what happens in these macro markets. Let's go ahead and move forward. Here's the SPX again, the overlay, another way to look at it. You can see clearly we built a top, and now we're retracing from that top. We're probably going to end up reclaiming this candle if the SPX stays bearish. That candle is a high liquidity candle there. You can see it's a big pump candle, so when people take profits, probably give all that back, maybe come down and find some support down here in this range. Again, that's why you can pull fibs and see the exact support. Now, what's interesting when you look at this, we talked about the confluence. Even though the SPX diverged from Bitcoin, the SPX went up to make new all-time highs. It's almost like a mirror pattern, isn't it, when you look at it? So Bitcoin went down and then up and then dumped. The SPX went up, then down, and now it's up at the all-time high and it's starting to dump. But these two structures here at the end are starting to look kind of similar. You have a top, you're dumping. You build a little bit of a top in this trend and you're dumping. So it is interesting, but it's almost like a mirror image of what's happening between the two markets. 4-hour time frame. Let's see if anything changed here. Let's throw Ichi on here since yesterday. Now our moving average is descendant and their resistance against us. Again, we're using the 0.5 fib here as support. We fell below it. There's enough demand here. You can tell by the candles. You got a rejection wick here on the sell candle, and you got a bullish candle here, a potential trend change candle for the doji, and then price came back up, right? So this is kind of where we're at. Bitcoin, if you look at this Darvis box here, these two lighter blue lines, likes to trade in this range down in this current trend, okay? But again, to note, you do have the visual imagery here of the cloud is descending and gaining thickness. So that's telling you that price would be moving something like this, because Ichi is a predictive indicator. So it is something to take note of. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. We look at my cloud will turn on, my PVT cloud. This takes a second, guys. This takes a lot of resources. What this cloud does, if it'll turn on, there it goes. What this cloud does, it takes volume, and it shows you your potential range up and your range down. And I've never seen it do this before, which is really fascinating. There's no potential range up. Normally, it gives you a cloud above price to show you where volume is saying you can go to, and there's zero cloud. The only cloud is down, okay? And you can see where it's saying there's potential to go down to 32.6. This changes based on volume. This is price volume trend, PVT. So this is a specific calculation for price. It's a very current indicator as far as it's a leading indicator showing price volume momentum. It's really interesting to see that we don't have any type of cloud above us at all, but we do have the cloud beneath us. And this is basically taking, you look at the symmetry in the market. The volume's telling you you can come down this low. Look where the Fib's telling you can come down to, the 1618, 34. Look how close those are together. Again, it's just really fascinating to see how Fibonacci works. That's the 1-hour time frame. Let's go ahead and next slide. Our weekly pattern, the weekly Navarro, guys. I mean, other than the fact that we're just making these videos and talking, and I guess I'm talking to you guys in the comments as well, the candle action is very boring. I mean, these three candles basically look identical, right? So this has been a very choppy, boring market between the 0.5 fib and the 618 basically on the weekly time frame. Just a couple thousand points up and down. Not a whole lot of price action. Not a whole lot to report on. Again, obviously, if you lose the 618, you potentially break your head and shoulders, and you would be bearish. Maybe you find support here at the 1 fib, which would be 33K. I mean, all these areas you're going to find support. The difference is it just to a lower high? You want to be building support to move up to make a new all-time high, right? That's the whole key. And then moving forward to the Wyckoff, again, because this is a weekly time frame, the candle action is extremely boring. We did lose the angel number currently. The candle is almost the exact same size as the previous 2 weeks candles, so there's not a whole lot to report here. You do have that bottom number, the 41,310 here, be last ditch area for support. You could come down a little bit further. You have a little bit of support down here at this level, which is 39,596. But like we talked about, if you lose 39, you break the primary trend of Bitcoin. The primary trend of Bitcoin is bullish, but if you lose this area right here, you're going bearish. People ask me in the comments, well, but this is your accumulation box. What happens if price does lose this and comes down and starts accumulating maybe at a lower level, right? Maybe in the 20s or something, accumulates down here. Well, in the Wyckoff price cycle, this box would become a redistribution box. Just like over here, you have accumulation, you have reaccumulation with the price action, then you pump up to distribution, you go to markdown. We have accumulation right now. This box would just become redistribution, and your new accumulation box would be down here because you'd be back down into markdown, entering the new accumulation box. Lots of drawings there, guys. Lots of drawings there. All right, so it's after 11, guys. Short video today. Hope you guys have a fantastic New Year's Eve. I'll put out another video tomorrow. Happy trading. And guys, remember, check out all our goodies in the video description. Love to see you guys in the room and participate in that Big Get tournament. Talk to you guys soon. Talk to you tomorrow.